What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunched Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Eddie Reynoso, Canelo Alvarez, and Oleksandr Usyk. Get this, Canelo's trainer says no chance a fight with Oleksandr Usyk ever happens. According to Eddie Reynoso, head trainer and manager of the superstar boxer, Canelo Alvarez says there is no chance that his boxer will face Usyk. Okay? And he went on to say this. He said, no, there's no chance that he will fight Usyk. He's a heavyweight fighter. But catch this. This is how he countered. He said, he's a heavyweight. That's what we have. We have Frank Sanchez. And that's what he's there for. And that would be a great fight, said Reynoso. So not only he shut that Canelo shit down, right? He also gave you a fighter that Oleksandr Usyk could fight. And what sticks out at me about what Reynoso did, I think Reynoso is a guy that known Canelo since he was 14, 15 years old, maybe younger. That's how long they've been training him and, and been associated together. So the whole career. And I noticed because of that, I see that kind of sheltering side, cutting that off. That's a defense. Like, no, there's no way in change. He could have not responded at all, but he made sure he did because he has no interest. And he wants that to be known before people want it. People start asking for it and craving it because Usyk already dropped that seed and said, I'll drop down to fight him as long as I keep my heavyweight straps intact, right? That's exactly what he said. So people want this particular fight, and Eddie's shutting that shit down. Because he doesn't know how Canelo would feel if he did beat everybody at light heavyweight, But I will say this. It's a protection mechanism, okay, from Eddie Reynoso, along with care, because he's worried about the welfare of Canelo, okay, again. But I feel that he shuts that down because he knows that Oleksandr would beat Usyk, and Usyk would probably hurt him. You know what I mean? But then here's the problem, though. Here's the problem. You throw old Frank in the mix, okay? You throw him at Usyk because Usyk said that he'll fight him. See, here's the thing, and here's the problem. And then I'm going to just keep it real with everyone. I like Frank Sanchez. He's Cuban, everybody follows his channel know how I feel about Cuban fighters. El Cubanos. But I will say this. What happens is Oleksandr Usyk would beat him. And they're trying to throw Frank Sanchez there. But Frank Sanchez really, why would he fight? Why would Usyk fight him now? We're talking about pound for pound fighters. Why do you think that's what they were talking about? They were talking about that because they were looking for an appropriate challenge for Canelo because he's fucking everybody up. Right? He's beating everybody. So that's what's happening. That's what's going on. And people are like, hey, well, what about Usyk? And then Usyk like, I'll go fight him, pretty boy. Right? But, he said, I'll come down to fight him as long as I keep my stuff intact. I'm still the unified heavyweight champion. And then being the unified heavyweight champion, why would he want to throw him somebody that's not even in, he's not even in range? Maybe in a year's time. But, things happen within a year. A couple fights for a fighter is like 5 years on the job for a regular person, okay? Because it's like the last stretch, especially when you get a certain age. And then, when you're competing at that elite level, you only have a certain amount of window, unfortunately. Well, while you're the best, so you have to use it appropriately. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, Eddie Reynoso, he definitely shut that down because he did not want people wanting it. And he knew that Canelo wasn't up for it. But I think not even really up for it. I think that he knew he doesn't even want to tempt Canelo with it because he personally does not want to see a fight like that. He's a heavyweight. Leave him alone. But then the question would be, why would you shut that fight down? Unless he felt like that. I already gave you the answer. But then here's another thing to think about. Why would you shut down a fight with Oleksandr Usyk if Usyk agrees to come down to cruiserweight? He was a cruiserweight undisputed champion before, and he's saying, I will come down and wait and do that and fight Canelo. Now, here's the deal. He didn't care what weight it was, but you're taking Canelo up there supposedly to fight Makaba at the same weight. You see what I mean? And a lot of people like, hey, man, why don't you leave Canelo alone? I don't bother Canelo. I just understand what happens. They go to these weight classes, especially the higher ones, and fight the weakest link up there. So he's saying if Usyk was at that weight, he wouldn't fight him because that's what Usyk wants him to do. You know what I'm saying? Something they agreed to do. Something what you would just think about when you're dealing with those guys. You know what I mean? Canelo and Eddie Reynoso, you know, they strategically pick certain fights. They do. You know, I was impressed with him doing that one thing. He made history. Congratulations, Canelo. And it was good. And, you know, he stopped the guy, broke one guy's arm by hitting him. You know, he's a good fighter and everything. But, you know, Eddie, this is a tactic to protect him. It's just simple. It's simple as day. It's just a tactic to protect him because Usyk said he'll come down. Canelo says nothing. And Eddie Reynoso says, no, we don't want that fight at all. Fight Frank Sanchez. And then really Canelo going to let him because he's already vouched that Frank Sanchez would beat everybody, right? So this is what we're dealing with. And I just think it's very, very, very interesting to see Eddie Reynoso pretty much knock or block that particular fight. But it does remind me, though, to be fair, when I close, it reminds me of back when Canelo was 155 pounds. He wasn't even 154 because he couldn't make the weight. Keep that in mind. He couldn't make the weight of 154. And then when Golovkin's up there, they wanted Golovkin at some stupid weight, right? Like 157. He's like, no, I'm not coming to 157. Then first, though, they said he's not a middleweight. I'm like, well, okay, what is he? A Canelo weight? I never heard of that. Nobody has used 155 again since Canelo left that shit because he made his own thing up to properly make weight. He looked like a damn skeleton. He looks a lot better, heavier, because I think that means he's more like a Vinny Pazienza. He's more built and durable, and he can use his abilities bigger. It suits him, okay? But it sounds like that. Oh, I'm not really a middleweight. Okay, well, Usyk is not really a cruiserweight if he comes down to cruiserweight. But you know what I mean? Oh, I'm not a lightweight, but I'm going to cruiserweight. But then I'm only fighting a particular person at cruiserweight. Aha. Just something to think about, guys. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about Eddie Reynoso shutting down the Oleksandr Usyk fight to Canelo. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.